Jason Young was episode 21, and he was talking, his area of specialty is on hospitality and leading volunteers. But I think he's been one of my favorite guests because his leadership advice was so applicable outside of volunteer experiences that I was just continually amazed by what he was saying. But if you listen to his podcast, you notice there was such a theme of empathy and being mindful and aware of how you were impacting people, which is a very, in our personality lingo, a very feeler orientation. But I had the insight of knowing Jason's personality type is naturally the opposite of that. He is a thinker. And so I just started thinking, I was like, Jason, how did you end up being a person whose platform is all about thinking about the impact you're having on people and having empathy? And he talks about how he kind of learned the hard way that being this outspoken, share my opinion, tell people what to do personality, which is more the way he's naturally wired, this NT kind of natural leader, speak your mind, always have an opinion, that it isn't working for him. And so he tells a little bit about that in the podcast interview, that I think is just a great way to show how he has taken that responsibility over his personality and said, this is causing a lot of challenge for me that I don't want, and it's working against my goals. What do I do about it? So let's play Jason's clip.
Back up years ago, I thought because I have an opinion, that opinion always has to be expressed. And what I learned is that is not helpful. And you're like, well, golly, how long did it take you to learn that? Probably too long. But I think as leaders, what I didn't pay attention to, Sarah, is I spent more time talking than I did listening. And what I realized is that other people treated me the same way. And I didn't like it. And why I couldn't put two and two together is just beyond me. And I think the more I don't know, grew, I really worked hard and kind of on my own emotional intelligence and just navigating some of those spaces. And it really occurred to me that I talk more than I listen. So I need to grow in that. And every time I think of something, an opinion or perspective or insight, I actually don't always have to share it, because what it eventually did is it alienated people, or you might not get invited to meetings, or people see you as a know-it-all or arrogant. I'm like, why would they do that? Oh, well, you're right. I would too if I did that. So I think that's a thing as a leader I learned, is to listen more than I talk. I don't always have to share everything. Ask questions. I can always wish I had said something, but if I said it, I can't take it back. And so it's just navigating, maybe it comes down, maybe the denominator about all those things is making wiser decisions as a leader, and remembering that every single one of those decisions, it does have an emotional impact on somebody else.